Okay guys, fantastic fishing back with y'all again today. I was going to talk to y'all a little bit about my catfish rig. I normally fish a float. I've actually kind of got like a little bit of hillbilly engineering in part of the setup. A lot of the line that I like to use, I use this Trilene Big Game 25-pound test or the 30-pound test. I like the high vis green. This line right here, even in the least amount of light that hits it, fishing at night, it seems to pick up the light better than any other line I've ever tried there. When you're ready to tie up, and I fish this rig on anywhere from a 5,000 to a 6,500 series reel. I like to use a 10-foot rod. If I'm fishing just channel cats, sometimes I'll step down to an 8-foot rod, and this is typically what I use at the pay lake. And most people at the pay lake are fishing this or fishing a bottom rig of some sort. Starting off with your rig, this be your line coming off your rod and reel here, and you'll start off with a float stop, a little rubber stop, comes on a little rubber wire there, got the little rubber bead, the metal wire, and you just pull that off there, hang on to it till it pulls off on your line, comes up to this like this. Some line out here. Okay, then we want to go to a bead. Any kind of bead there will work. If I can get it in focus there. Any kind of bead, arch crass, fishing department, whatever. We'll go ahead and put this on here, and then go to our bite alerter, whatever you want to call it. I normally find these at the pay lakes where I go to, or the bigger fishing departments. And slide there on there. Alrighty. And after that, we're going to go to whatever size float you want to use. Kind of pair your float to what size fish you're fishing with, or the size bait that you're using. If bigger bluegill, you're going to want something even bigger than what this is if you're fishing a live bluegill. Dead bait, you can kind of match your bait to the weight. Just main thing is keep your float floating, and give you plenty of room if you're going to be night fishing, where you can put the light up on the float. And we just take black tape them on there, either the battery power ones or the ones you snap. Either one. I like the battery power ones because once you snap one, you only get to fish an hour or so. It comes up a rainstorm, it's gone. Well, if you got the battery one, you can pull it off, pull the battery out, and use it the next time. At like $2.50 for the battery one. Not a big deal. Alright, now the next thing we're going to here is this is the homemade, or the hillbilly technology, whatever, the engineering, I don't know. But a fella told me about this at a pay lake. And what this is actually a piece of your regular old spark plug wire. What you do is to get these pieces, and this makes like a rubber bead that is going to take the impact of your float and your weight when you're fishing and setting the hook on fish, casting, whatnot. What you do is you take your scissors or wire cutters or whatever, and you want to cut this spark plug wire just to where it goes down to the actual wire of the spark plug. So you're just cutting the coating part, and then that leaves it like this right here. You take your fingers, pull it right off, and you've got a bead. And these things last forever. I've got a bunch of them made up. It's kind of silly to make that many of them up because they don't never go bad. They keep on keeping on. You take a regular bead like what we used up here on top of the rig, and over a certain time, it'll when it's beating against that sinker and that floater, it'll show damage, and it can eventually get to where it can cut your line. We're going to take one of our beads, or rubber beads I call them, run it up on there right below your float like such, and we're coming to our sinker, our egg weight, which once again they make them in different sizes depending on what size rig you're using, what size bait you're using. You got a big bait, big live bait, you're going to need more weight to keep that bait down in the strike zone. So after that, we go to another one of our homemade rubber beads, slide it on. Okay, now this is kind of like what we're looking like right here, kind of start there, this part right here. Then we've got our swivel, and I like to use a pretty heavy duty barrel swivel. These pick up at Walmart, but any fishing department carry the swivels. Like I said, match your gear to the bait and the fish that you are targeting. You don't want to don't go out there with less than what you need. Make sure you got plenty to handle whatever you're fishing for, whatever you're going for there. So we here we tie our swivel onto. At this point, you can do a Palmer knot. You can do it a lot of times. I do what I call a regular fisherman knot. I'll twist her about 6-7 times. And this is really not a line knot tying video, I guess you'd say. What's your line? My line isn't big enough to really show up very good. Anyway, so you kind of see where I'm going at. I got my float stop, my bead, my bait alert, my floater, my rubber bead that we made homemade, sinker, rubber bead, then to your swivel. Go ahead and cut her tag in off here. Okay, now the leader material that I use is basically just some of the line that I was using. Is what I normally do. I don't normally go lower. You can go lower, you can go higher. Just depending on if you've got a lot of snag ups, I would go lower. If you're afraid of, if you want to get longer longevity out of your leader, I would go heavier, because catfish do have teeth, and after a certain time you can feel the wear on the line. But I just keep a good eye on my line, and what I like using the same leader material is I've always got it with me, because it's always on the reel. So if I'm using that kind, I've got it. And you just tie your leader onto your swivel, and like I said, I just do the regular old fisherman knot again. Seems to be the easiest with the swivel involved there. Cut your tag end off. And then we go down here to our hook. Now a lot of guys, they'll use a circle hook. I like the octopus hook. Allows you to still set the hook some, but it still has kind of the action of the circle hook, where you get a lot of fish hooked in the lip or in the corner of the mouth where you want them at. I just like the jerk, and it seems like it's a little bit easier to, since you was growing up learning to set the hook. Whenever a fish bites, that circle hook, I'll pull that circle hook out of that fish's mouth. And so I decided to go with the octopus hook. This is a Gamakatsu. I don't know exactly what alt. Once again, you match your hook to what you're fishing with, what your bait is. You try to get too small of a hook on too big of a piece of bait, and you're not going to be able to get that hook exposed out of the bait enough to actually get that fish hooked. Once again, you can kind of go with whatever you want. Main thing is make sure that you wet that line. You do not want to tie a dry knot, especially messing with 30, 40, 50 pound catfish. It just ain't it ain't gonna work. Whenever they pull it, you'll break them off on the hook set. That line, if you don't wet that line, then you get friction in that line, and it wears down the line, and then you out there fishing willy-nilly, and it ain't gonna work. It's gonna cost you. The pay lake fishing, it just depends on what's going on. Sometimes I'll fish for the keeper fish. Sometimes I'll fish for the trophy fish. Depends on what's in the freezer, what's in the billfold. At the pay lakes, I guess I've got a boat. We do a lot of boat fishing. We do bank fishing for catfish at the lakes and stuff, at public lakes and stuff. But the pay lake is, most of the time they got good lighting. So in night fishing right now, it's summertime, hot outside. You can go in there right before dark, fish till morning. And that's about all there is there to it. I was going to do something outside. I was going to try to do some fishing today. My my camera guy, he's gone today with his mother, and it was kind of raining a little bit. But anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this. For the ones that do the pay laking, you might leave me some. If you do a little bit different, hey, I'm open to ideas. A lot of this was taught to me by other people. I mean, I put together from different people to come up with this rig, and I really like this rubber bead. That was the main reason of this video, is I wanted to show this off, because I got a feeling that there's a lot of people out there that don't know about it, and it's a cheap way to get your rubber bead, cheap or free. Go to service stations or something like that do a lot of servicing on vehicles. They'll probably have some of these laying in the garbage can. Just ask them, hey, you got any used spark plug wires? But anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to get better at these videos, and we appreciate you watching. Thank you.